Good morning and welcome to another morning devotions, another day of praising Almighty God for His wondrous blessings in our lives, another day of coming to grips with all that we are, all that we have, all that we desire to become in this world. It is truly a joy and a privilege to be with you this morning, and I trust that as we continue our theme, finding, knowing, and nurturing my divine essence, I pray that you will find opportunity here to grow daily on this wonderful path which is before us, a path that has been laid out from before we knew ourselves, a path that is central to this journey, to all that we are, all that we have. And so as we awaken ourselves this morning and we become mindful of all that is taking place in our world, we ask God to bring before us in our thoughts, in our consideration, everything that is in our world. We ask God to help us to be open to receive, not to be destroyed by, but to be open to receive, because that is part of our work, the work of interceding for all that is. The more of us that are able to intercede, the more of us that are able to uplift, the lighter the load becomes and the more effective the work is. So I invite us now, as we move into a space for meditation, I invite us to just be in a very meaningful way. Every breath we take, every movement is all because of the divine presence that is within us. So we make our bodies still. If we're in a place that we can be quiet and peaceful, if we're in a place that we can close our eyes and look within and see the vast uncreated universe, and know that everything begins within. Everything comes out of the emptiness, the nothingness. Everything emerges from the dark. So we go into that place of emptiness, where we're able to release all that we have created, all that has been created for us. A lot of which we carry daily. Confusing ourselves that we are it and it is us. But we come into this space and we let go of it all. And the more we practice coming into this space, the easier it becomes to shed all that clings to us, all that hinders our movement, all that prevents our ascent. We dive into the emptiness, into the letting go, into the forgetting. That we may emerge fresh, spotless. The symbol of baptism, the going under the water, releasing the old life, the being held under the water for that mini death, and then the coming up with a new birth. In this space of nothingness, want us to sense each other. With the knowledge that nothing can separate us. Not our class, not our ethnicity, not our creeds, not our economics. In this place of nothingness, there's only the all that is. And in that awareness, we discern the abundant wealth that we are. Just that awareness of this grand oneness in the midst of the emptiness, the heart of the nothingness. The thought before the thought. So we come to that space this morning. Finding, knowing, nurturing my divine essence. This is my work in this world. Help me, O Gracious One, to understand the depths of this and to know it. Grant me the courage to daily endeavor to find that true self that I may know who I am. Be with me this day and every day on this path of knowing, as I find. May I join with others who are finding their way, that together we may light with brilliance the way that is set before us, in order that our world may become all that it was intended to be. Hear this prayer, Father, Mother, Source, and allow it to bear much fruit. We turn to Matthew chapter 7 today, reading from the first verse. Matthew 7. Jesus said to those who were listening, "Do not judge, so that you may not be judged. For with the judgment you make, you will be judged. And the measure you give will be the measure you get. Why do you see the speck in your neighbor's eye, but do not notice the log in your own eye? Or how can you say to your neighbor, 'Let me take the speck out of your eye,' while the log is in your eye? You hypocrite. First take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your neighbor's eye. Do not give what is holy to dogs, and do not throw your pearls before swine, or they will trample them underfoot and turn and maul you. Ask, and it will be given you. Search, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be open for you. For everyone who asks receives, and everyone who searches finds, and for everyone who knocks the door will be opened. Is there among you anyone who, if your child asks for bread, will give a stone? Or if a child asks for a fish, will give a snake? If you then, who are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good things to those who ask him? In everything, do to others as you would have them do to you. for this is the law and the prophets. Here ends the reading. So here we are, as we continue our journeys in this world, as we continue to seek God, to find our true meaning, our true selves in this work. And we've got these wonderful passages to work with this morning, passages that encourage us to really go deep within ourselves. They are passages that invite us to not be so concerned about the other person. You know, we like to fix other people. We're always trying to fix other people. And the energy that we use trying to fix other people, we really need to devote to fixing ourselves. Now, no one is saying that we are not to offer guidance to others, but our main focus really always needs to be ourselves. And the reason for this is that when you are seeking to speak with another, you're really speaking from a place of blindness. By nature, there is a log in your eye. And the log in your eye doesn't have to do necessarily the fact that you are worse than them or any of that sort of thing. But consider the log being something like this. So I come to you and I am trying to sort you out. But without knowing it, I am significantly blind. And the reason I'm significantly blind is because standing in front of me is a person whose journey goes back millennia, whose experiences I cannot fill my home with beyond my residence. I may not even be able to fill the island of Barbados if I line them up. What I'm seeing is but a wee speck of that person's journey. Because so much is withheld from me. That's my log. I cannot see but that speck. That's my log. If my log were not there, I would be able to see it all. But my log is there. And there's nothing I can do to remove my log in this context. Because your life is much larger than what I've just experienced. And that's why we can't touch each other from a place of judgment. We just don't know the other's story. And even when we tell our story, we only tell in what we remember. There are experiences I know that you've had. And as you try to recall the experiences, you can only remember certain aspects of the experiences. Because most of the experience is blocked from you. Because oftentimes we only focus on what has been done. We don't focus on the condition one was in at the time. We don't focus on all the various things that led to that particular moment. There's so much that's missing. So in that sense, we are constantly reminded not to go judging other persons, but more so, focus on ourselves. Focus on ourselves. And then there's the other section that tells us not to give what is holy to dogs and don't throw pearls before swine, or they'll trample them underfoot and turn and maul you. Sometimes Jesus says some sayings that we feel are really harsh. And they're not really harsh. We've got to learn to treasure the selves that we are. We've got to learn to treasure them. And not to go willy-nilly pouring ourselves out to anyone we think will listen. We got to learn to perceive ourselves as sacred, as pearls. Your life is the most precious thing that you have. You can't lose it. And I'm not talking here about your physical life. I mean that eternal gift of being that you have is the most precious. Because it's all that you are. But you've got to come to a place where you acknowledge how precious this gift is. And so live it from that place of preciousness. So many of us don't perceive of ourselves as being precious, as being of great value. Because we look at the things that might have occurred to us in these few years that we are on this rock. And we determine who we are by virtue of that. Again, there's the log. Even as we look at ourselves, there's the log. And we can't see the sacred. We can't see the holy. We see what other people judge. Whether we're short, tall, fat, what others may call ugly, too bright, too dark, all these things we internalize and we allow them to define us. But we can't be defined by those things that we take in. Because those things devalue the holy, the sacred, the precious. So remember that we are here to manifest the sacred, not take in, not take in that which is material, that which has no value, but to send out that which is precious, that which is of great value. So we must treasure it. We must treasure it and not allow it to go anywhere, and not allow it to be sent out in ways that is like sending stuff before swine. We must count to this precious. Precious. I am precious. I am sacred. This is not arrogance. This is just a realization of who I really am. The fullness of my being. The total person that I am. This is what's crucial for me in this time. My realization of who I am. And so I must allow myself to truly be that self. And in being that self, to be able to know that if I ask, I will receive. If I knock, I know I will be answered. If I search, I know I'll find. Because I am sacred. Because I am precious. Because God has made me who I am.
soul.